Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have this position. It is white to move and surprisingly win. So you can pause the video to find the answer on your own. Alright, so we have this pawn right here. This little pawn pushing like this, but there's a pawn in its face, another pawn like this. These pawns are pushing downwards. And the king is super close to get to the pawn. So this seems like a draw, even losing because of these pawns and the king really close to our pawn. But there's a way to win, of course. Now, the first move, I'm just going to show it to you. We do not take this pawn because there is no point of taking it. If we take this pawn, then black will play king to f. King f5 is the only way to actually get the draw. Right, so why king f5? Now we're going to see why. We can try to attack this pawn right here, but it doesn't help king e4. We get our king close a little bit, but then he plays king e3. And there is no way for us to defend our pawn. If we lose the pawn, it's an immediate draw, right? So if we get the king close, just going to take care, we take care, and that's a draw. That's why we don't focus on this pawn, because this pawn is still a little bit far away from creating a threat like this pawn. So the first move is bishop to f6, attacking this pawn right here. If the king got close or anything, this is completely winning. We just take this pawn. We're stopping the king from getting here to attack our pawn. But of course, it's not going to be this easy. After bishop to f6, there's the move c5, defending the pawn. And don't forget, king f4, sorry, king f4, king e3 to win the pawn. Because the pawn on a light square. So this means the bishop is completely useless in defending it, right? And now in this position, we play king b5, attacking this pawn. In this position, black can play many things, like king g3 or king f4, try to get to the dark squares and win the pawn. Both of them end up in the exact same way, with a bishop move. We play king f4, black plays king f4, trying to get the king e3, win the pawn. Yes, we take our pawns, like for example, king takes c5, king e3, bishop takes, but that's a draw. Bishop is not enough to win the game. So our main goal after king to f4 is to stop the black king from going to e3. Because if he went here, then we cannot defend the pawn, and it's going to be an immediate draw. So what do? How can we stop black from going king e3? Very beautiful move. Bishop g5, sacrificing the bishop to stopping him from going here. This pawn is everything that we got. We have to make use of this. Now, you might say, well, hello, free bishop, right? Yes. It's a deliberate bishop sacrifice to deflect the king away from that square. We take this pawn. It doesn't matter, king f4, king f5, king f6. Black will not be in time. What happened? Let's look at it again. Bishop sacrifice, king here, king takes, king f5. We take this pawn. He plays this move, and then remember, guys, if the king is like this, you have to play opposition. You should be kicking the king away like this, and whenever he plays this move, you can play e4. And you guys get this. I mean, everybody can win this endgame, opposition, right? So after this bishop sacrifice, and black takes, we will win both of these two pawns, and we're going to push the pawn and promote using the opposition technique, right? Okay, what if king f4, bishop g5 check, and black does not take? Okay, what's going to happen? The best option for black in this position is king g3. If black cannot go here to attack the pawn, black wants to go like this to attack the pawn. So for example, if we take the pawn, this is a draw. Why? Because of king f2. We take here, and he takes, this is still a draw. So after king g3, what do? You guessed that, the exact same move. Bishop to h4, sacrificing the bishop again, deflecting it away from the f2 and e3 squares that attacks the pawn. If he takes, we reach the exact same position. We are just having the opposition, and it's just going to be, push the pawn and win. Okay, so after this bishop sacrifice, black is not forced to take. The best move for black is, for example, black can play king f4, but then after king to f4, it's trying to repeat the exact same move to go here to e3. But then we have bishop f2, And as you can see, with the pawn and the bishop, we're creating this blockade. The king will never be able to attack any of these two pawn and piece. So, and he cannot defend this pawn. So black goes back. We take, place something. We take here. The king has to move, and then we get the king close, push the pawn, and promote. What else? After this, king g3, another sacrifice. Another good move for black is king g2. King g2 trying to be very, very annoying, which is king f1 trying to win the, win the pawn. If we take, that's a draw, right? It's very tricky endgame in this position. And the only way to actually win this is actually king c4. The idea of king c4, king f1 is unstoppable and attacking the pawn. We play this move king d3 to attack, sorry, to defend our pawn. And then a deflection technique, exactly like our bishop sacrifice is going to play c4 check. We cannot take, that's going to lead to a draw. We go back. We have to keep protecting this pawn. He plays another check. We play king d3. He pushes the pawn, he's about to promote. And still we do not take. We play bishop g5. Bishop g5, we're just stopping anything from going here. We're not gonna do anything because this pawn cannot move. If this pawn moves, we're just gonna take it. And it's just easy, right? Now, best move for black is either king f2, king e1. Let's say king f2. Bishop goes back to c1. Black goes king e1. We play bishop b2. And the idea here, we're just trying to get to these pawns ASAP, but we're trying to force the king away. Like he plays king d1, trying to really do his thing. And then we have bishop a3. This is getting into, I'm just going to show it to you because it's very important to how to get this. Now this pawn is always defended. This pawn can now move, and black cannot do much. If he promoted, for example, then we take, and this is pretty much winning. That's why he cannot do this. He plays king e1, and then we play, they're saying bishop c1. We are kind of repeating moves, right? But then bishop d2. Oh, wow. Bishop d2 is so evil, actually, in this position. As you can see, bishop d2, the king can now move because of the bishop, can now take because of the king, can now move a pawn. He's forced to play this. Promotes to whatever. Then we take it. He has an option to move away, but then we just play bishop e3. That is so genius to win this pawn. And whenever he takes, we take back. And this is, yo, this is so evil. Even if we promoted to a knight, we just still take this, and we push the pawn and win the game pretty easy. Thank you for watching.